Gus Galen from Groove Watersports. Welcome.
Hey, what's up, Richard? Well, yeah, thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about what Groove Watersports is all about.
Yeah, so at Groove Watersports, we're bringing music to the water sport industry through our impact vest with integrated speakers. We're the first ones to do this on the market, and we're really solving the problem of people wanting to be able to listen to music in the water and just not having many good options.
So right now, maybe to give a bit of context for anybody who's watching who's not familiar with water sports, maybe tell us what an impact vest is.
You know what? I got one right here. Want me to throw one on?
Yeah, okay, go for it.
So let's see here. So this is an impact vest. It's a little bit different than your traditional life jacket because it's not really built with the intended purpose of just buoyancy. The intended purpose is you have these like side ribbings here to protect you from an impact at the cable park or behind the boat, when you're riding at 25 miles an hour and dropping from 10 feet in the air. And what we do differently is we put speakers right here in the shoulder area of the vest. And so just press play.
Amazing.
Music going.
Best demo ever. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah,
and how then, so I suppose to go back to the impact vest, I certainly know from experience of falling off things, like people don't really appreciate the water. It can be kind of like falling on concrete sometimes, especially
Definitely.
if it's shallow water. So the impact vest basically dispels any of literally the impact. But the music thing is pretty cool. I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't be a fan of having something in my ears if I'm doing water sports, because obviously if you're in the water, they're going to fall out. So this is a really nice idea. And then where are you getting the music from? What's the source of the audio?
Yes, the source of the audio is an MP3 file. So we have 8 gigabytes of internal storage on our device. So you can store over 1,000 songs on your device. And we were prototyping our way through Bluetooth because we thought it'd be great to be able to just have your phone in the boat and you could just stream your music, do Spotify, Pandora, or anything. But the Bluetooth range wasn't strong enough. So then we brought our phone to the vest and just had a waterproof pocket on the vest. But then our test riders just hated having their phone with them on the vest. So we were like, all right, we need internal memory. We got to get their phones away from it. So we moved away from Bluetooth. And then now we have this MP3 style. So it just holds all of your songs with you and you can just leave your phone wherever in the boat or on the shore.
That's amazing. And what was it that put people off? Certainly, I know from my own experience of doing water sports that I don't have too much stuff. And also, I never really trust waterproofing 100%.
No,
so
definitely.
Did they have similar concerns? Or?
Yeah, so actually the scenario was we were testing it with some wakeboarders up in Western Washington. And I think they were kind of arguing over the fact of whose phone were they going to put on the vest. And I think right away, that's a red flag of I don't know the reason, but whatever the reason is, it's that's clearly a problem for our users. So we were all right, we need to migrate away from this. I think, we had a waterproof pocket for it. So it was a waterproof rated pocket. So people were supposed to know that it was safe for their phone, but still, they're just I don't want to put my phone on the vest. I know that's a problem. We just have to solve it for them.
There's been huge enthusiasm for the product and for the idea of having speakers, and you've already got quite a wait list.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've been kind of drumming up our wait list since we've been going through prototype revisions over the past 9 months. Since then, we've just kind of been doing a giveaway strategy. The first, I think, about 4 or 5 months, we were doing kind of a referral marketing strategy where if you referred your friend to our page, they joined the wait list. They'd both have an equal opportunity to be drawn for a chance to win one of our Groove vests when we launched. So we got some more people to give us their names and then their friends' names, and that's kind of how we got our big wait list. And then we started sharing our startup story with basically all the people who are interested in this product, and that's how we've gotten to grow our big wait list today. I think we have over 8,000 people. That kind of brings us to our Kickstarter strategy in our campaign. We'll be launching in a few weeks. Is just nurturing those 8,000 people and then bringing them to a place where, hey, now you guys said you were interested. How many of you guys want to buy one?
That's very cool. So before we get into talking a little bit about Kickstarter, can we go back a little bit and maybe explain how it was that you decided to build this product, and then I guess what you had to learn and what kind of a team you had to build?
Yeah, so I grew up just wakeboarding, skiing, water, anything in the water. In Minnesota, we had a cabin about an hour away from our home where we spent a lot of summers, and I saw people like on Instagram with these big boat tower speaker systems where they're listening to music, and I always wanted one, but they were like stupid expensive. And so I was like, all right, I'll DIY one. And then I realized like I just didn't have the skills to like build one. And we didn't have a boat that could really hold it. It was really just kind of like a fisher boat and wasn't really made for like water sports, but obviously you could get the job done. And so I just kind of like gave up the dream of like listening to music while I was out in the water until I saw these little like shower waterproof speakers. And then I clipped one on my vest, and it was great because it had music, but it was like flopping around and it was really annoying. And I was thinking, well, if I could just put it inside with like the foam, then that would just be a better experience for me. And so I did that with an old vest that I made and some speakers that I found off of Amazon. And it was my senior year at the university, and I was going through an entrepreneurship class talking about solving problems. And I told them what the problem I was solving, and they're like, well, you guys should explore this a little bit more. And one of my business partners, Drew, he was in my class at the time saying like, hey, he was a finance guy. He was like, I think I can put numbers behind this and like really help you like sell your pitch and your vision. Like, let's go in on this together. I said, great. And then I had another friend who was a marketing buddy of mine who was like, oh, I think I could really like market this for you guys. And I was like, great. Like that's another area where I need help with. So we kind of had like the business foundation set there. But now the big problems we need to solve is like the people to make it. So we needed some designers, some engineers to make it happen. And I went over to our university's textiles, merchandising, and fashion department college. And I talked to their department head and told them the project I was working on. And we got plugged into one of their special senior, I can't remember what it was called. It was like just like a special project for like a senior class. And told them our problem, and they had a day to solve the problem. So we just did like a workshop day with them, and we got a ton of different designs from a bunch of like really talented students. And that's when like I found our designer. Her name's Jackie, who I thought she had the best design. I loved her attitude, and she like shared the vision. And I was like, Jackie, like we need you on the team. Let's like build this together. And so she has a small cut and sew shop operation that she does. She has a ton of different clients, but then we became one of her clients. And then I went over to the engineering department, did the exact same thing, and found some mechanical and electrical engineers, and got a bunch of help from my uncle, who was also an engineer. And that's how we kind of got through like super lean prototyping, when I was a poor college kid on a budget. So we went through probably about less than 20 different prototypes through like 3D printing and different vest materials and things like that over the past couple of years. But it really wasn't until this past year when we like hit it really hard and started testing it with like wakeboard clubs and other things like that, which we got like our most feedback from and really made a ton of like really big design changes. And now we're at where we're at today because of all that. So
that's amazing.
Kind of, my startup story.
That's really incredible. And what is the university?
It was the University of Nebraska in Lincoln.
Okay, wow. That's it's a really good story about how university can help, because I remember years ago going to university and there was this kind of idea that the engineers sat over here and there was a car park and then the law students sat over there. But since then, it's really cool to hear a university that's bringing the different disciplines together and getting people to work together. Yeah. That's very exciting.
And I mean, on top of that too, so I became a client of the law students university too, or their program. So they called it the e-clinic, and once a semester, they take on new businesses, people who like can't afford like the real deal. They are the real deal, but they just couldn't afford attorneys, and I was in that situation. I checked all those boxes, first time business owner, all the boxes that they had, and then they set up like the legal foundations of the business for me.
Awesome.
Helped create our strategy to make sure that we were taken care of. So yeah, I mean, this was really kind of like a university success story for sure.
That's really great. And you guys do have some IP as well around the technology as a result of that experience,
we
right?
do. Yeah, and so that's actually what triggered kind of us like getting back together. And about a year ago is when I first started in college. It was patent pending status, and we knew that our like IP strategy and our portfolio would hold a lot of weight in our success. And so I dabbled in making these developments over, the first couple of years after college, while my partners, Drew and Miles, were, progressing their careers in other areas. And it wasn't until the patent got granted last year when I called them back up and I was like, all right, guys, like this is a real deal. Like, we actually have some traction going on our IP side. And like, I think this is a product that people want. You guys want to join me? And then we got accepted into an Accelerator program. Both of those guys were joining me in that program. And then that's when we started going through like the customer discovery process and validating, our minimal viable product, getting feedback from testers, and just learning like how to speak with customers to help develop a product that they want, not something that just like I want. So I think that was like definitely a challenge for me when I first started, is like I just wanted this for me while I was wakeboarding, but it like turns out that I think jet skiers and kiteboarders are a bigger market than any of the other markets we have, and that was just finding that out through talking with customers.
Like suppers and wing surfers as well. I think it's quite an interesting. Yeah. There's new sports coming out the whole time, so that's really exciting. And then in terms of that validation and that accelerator, which was the course, which is the program that you took, and how valuable did you find that as an experience?
Yeah, so it was called the N-Motion Accelerator program, and that was super valuable. I mean, we got some.
Where was it, or who was it sponsored by?
Nebraska. It was in Nebraska. And it's part of the GAN, which is like the Global Accelerator Network. So these accelerator programs are kind of all over, and this was one that was certified by that network. So we got to go through there, and it really kind of, I guess, gave us all like the entrepreneur bug, because I mean, we just learned a lot of things that we just didn't know, like how to talk to customers. I think was just like the biggest thing, and the power of social media and LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram, and just like getting on there and sending out messages to people, talking to people who like have this problem, was really something that was like, I guess, eye-opening to me, and I think my partners as well. And that was super helpful to us. I mean, it helped us set goals. We set objectives and key results. We had key performance indicators based on like hypothesis that we create for questions that we were sending out to different kiteboarders, jet skiers, wakeboarders, things like that. And all that stuff was new to me. So like I didn't bring that to the table. Like they taught me how to do that, and we still use that in how we do business today. So I think that was super valuable. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. That's bringing us also really nicely towards Kickstarter. So in terms of that kind of conversation with customers piece, can you talk us a little bit through how you have been talking to customers and what kind of value you've been deriving from that, and how you've been using that to build towards a Kickstarter, and maybe also why you decided to do a Kickstarter? So a lot of questions there.
I can touch on, I think, all of them. Let me know if I miss it. But I think like how we talk to customers is even like how like we got connected. I reached out to you on social media because you had water sport posts, and I was like, this is a guy who gets it. Like, let's see if he wants music. So, I send a message that's just like, hey, I'm Gus. I'm working on bringing music to the water with his Impact Fest of speakers. Like, could you have some time to talk to me about this? And then, most of the times is probably not, I don't get a response. But of the responses that I get, majority of them are yes. And then those people, I just have an honest conversation, tell them what I'm doing. And people, I think in general, are just critics. So they let you know when like something's not right or it's not adding up. And so, I mean, we just started off by, surveys, just saying, hey, can you fill out this survey? Because we're just trying to figure out like who is our target audience. And people are like, this is a really cool product. Like, for sure, I'll fill it out. Thanks, mate. And just kind of like that stuff. And through that conversation, I think in our first couple months, we interviewed 700 water sport participants and found out 85% of them like to wear these impact vests over life jackets. And that was a big discussion for our team when we first launched is, hey, are we going to come out with life jackets or impact vests? Like, we can't do both. Like, we're low budget. We only got one shot at this. So we're like, all right, let's just go to where the market is and who wants this. And clearly the numbers showed that like impact vest speakers were like the people who wanted to have this product. So that's how we kind of learned to like talk to people, and then continue to just use that same strategy when we're coming out with new, I guess, designs or new revisions. When we make a change to our vest, we start blasting people again, just saying, hey, we just made some changes. Like, we want to get your feedback, just constant feedback from customers. I mean, that's like a daily thing. Like, we probably send out hundreds of messages on a day between like all three of us. And we carve out 1 to 2 hours a day just to like sit on social and start talking to people.
And what's your strategy? Have you got some kind of strategy? Like, are you looking at one particular social media channel, or are you looking at multiple? And then how do you identify who the water sports enthusiasts are? Like, do you dial in on a hashtag or some other reference point?
Yeah, we're dialing in on hashtags. So we're just looking at like water sport or wakeboard or jet ski. Because I mean, the nice thing about what people are doing when they have the public profiles is like, if they love to jet ski, they'll let you know, because they'll like, hey, picture my jet ski, and then they hashtag jet ski because it's cool. And then, I
Yeah.
mean, those are the people we want to talk to anyways, and they usually love our products or at least love the concept. So that's kind of how we target people on social. I don't know, did
And
you have another part?
is it confined to a particular channel or multiple
Yeah,
channels?
Instagram's the easiest, just because of the hashtag searching. And I think just like the people who are willing to talk to us on Instagram has been the easiest. We've thrown out feelers in pretty much all of them, and then just went to where we've gotten the best like conversions, best conversations.
Because you can
You know,
talk to anyone. I think that's a really nice little feature of Instagram, that you can request to talk to anyone, and then
yeah,
the recipient can decide whether they want to engage or not.
yep.
And that's a really nice feature, that you can literally talk to anybody.
Anyone.
But what kind of challenges have you encountered, or have you had any learnings? Give an example. Like, I looked you up and I just got a sense straight away that there's an authenticity there, so I immediately felt, hey, I could trust you.
Yeah, and I think that's like part of our business is like one of our like our core values is like transparency and honesty. So like we try and keep that with like our own personal and public like profiles, is like, hey, like what is Gus up to? Like, well, I like do a lot of water sports stuff. I'm going to post about it. And then on my personal account, I mean, like I do a lot of stuff with my family and my girlfriend, and usually it's all like around like outdoors. So I'm just like posting genuine like moments. I carry myself on social the same way I carry myself in real life. So it's just like really easy. I think like you said, like you felt like, oh, a genuine dude, like I could message you. Like that's definitely like a big strategy, is like in my messages to you too, it's just like, hey, I saw you do water sports. Like I want to talk to you about my survey. And you look at my profile and you're like, oh, like this guy just wants to talk, which is the truth. I mean, sure, like the goal is to like sell as many vests as possible, but like, I feel like we're constantly in the like customer discovery and like learning a growth mindset. And I think people can kind of feel that when we're talking to them and they're like, oh, I want to help out. So I think just in general, I think people love helping other people out. It just, makes you feel good when you do something for someone else and you're like, oh, that was cool. Like, and that was a nice guy. I liked helping him out. And so we try to be like the nice guy that like people are helping out, and, we're helping them out by giving them a product that they want.
It's kind of cool that the guys who set up Under Armour, and well, the guy who set up Under Armour, also the guy that set up Oakley, in both cases, they just seem to be cool guys that were just trying to solve a problem, and it really ballooned for them. Where do you see yourself with this business going?
Yeah, so the plans and ambitions definitely go all the way. So me and my business partners, our goal is to grow this company and just really take over the water sport industry like as fast as we can. Just really sharing. I mean, really what we're doing. I mean, we sell like the power of music more than anything. I mean, more than best or more than anything. I mean, just because music speaks to people in different ways, it's like, how many different sports can we get into? Like, even outside of water sports, like, are there any other action sports that could go with like a wearable like ours? And we really want to just like kind of take things over. I think all three of us, all me and my two founders, are like entrepreneurs by heart. And so like, I mean, we're 100% committed to like just like the growth of the company and just like making this our lifestyle. I mean, it's
Awesome.
kind of fun to grow a business. And I mean, I know all three of us, we've had our ups and downs, but like just in general, like the journey in itself and the amount of learning we've done over the past like couple of years working together has just been awesome.
What do you reckon? Can you call out maybe your biggest challenge and your biggest opportunity, or the biggest thing that's helped you to go forward?
Yeah, I think the mindset for sure has helped us, is because like our mindset is about the people we're becoming in this journey. So like there is no failure. Like worst case scenario, everything blows up and like all of us are better people because of like, the good foot that we've put forward through this entire process. We don't see that happening, but it's like, I think that's helped us get through the really tough times.
What's been the biggest challenge that you faced so far, and how did you overcome that?
I think the two biggest challenges for me is just the development with the product in itself. Like I've always had this vision of like what the best could be or should be, and it seems to have always kind of like lagged a bit behind. But it's challenging for me because I'm the visionary, but I'm not like a designer or developer, so I can only go so far with like drawings or explaining people about concepts, what we should look like. Plus we're in a really tight budget, so it's like you can't really expect gold when you're providing that tight budget to like engineering and designers. But they've done a really good job, and we've kind of traded off timing for that. Like obviously this took like 3 years, where if we would have had like a couple $100,000, like we could have probably got this done in like a quarter. So it's like, I think the biggest frustration and challenge has just been like budget constraints as like a startup. You can't get things to move faster, and money makes things move faster. So
Absolutely.
ideally, honestly, we wanted to launch and have this be a 2019 product, but we just couldn't develop it fast enough in order to do that. I think that ended up being a blessing for us because like we got to grow our wait list, and I think we'll have a better experience on Kickstarter because of that. But I think that was definitely like our biggest challenge, was just waiting on the product to be done. I mean, we were marketing the company for 9 months with just like a couple prototypes, and like that was just really challenging.
Where did you have those prototypes? Were they manufactured then by the teams locally, or were they done internationally?
All locally. So
Okay.
all in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Well,
We did 3D prints there. We did design and development there.
will you continue to manufacture then in Nebraska?
No, we're moving overseas, and that's what we're using our Kickstarter campaign for.
Okay.
So
So
in order
tell
to
us a
reach
little
those,
bit about the production drive then, and then maybe tell us a little bit more about your Kickstarter campaign.
yeah. And so I guess the production schedule right now is we're moving the first article sample with our manufacturers actually this week. So right now, the vests from the cut and sew shop overseas have been exactly what they're going to be pretty much moving forward, but the electronics have still been our 3D prints. So now
All
we're
right.
moving forward to tooling and molding, and that's an expensive process that we're looking for help from our Kickstarter backers to get us,
Okay. So
going
you're
forward
gonna
into
make
tooling and molding.
you're gonna make the vests internationally,
Yes,
and then
yep,
you're gonna
all
make the electronics locally.
No, I'm sorry if that was confusing. No,
That's okay.
we have been making them locally, but we're making everything internationally. Just that way we can scale. You can't really scale with 3D prints. Plus, they're kind of porous by nature since they're printed layer by layer. So like the life of these prototypes are short compared to the life of what injection molded and tooling enclosures will be. So we'll have, it's called ultrasonic welding around, so we'll get the highest waterproof rated certification on our enclosures because of like the welding that we're using around it. And like right now, just like we couldn't launch with these type of prototypes. We need this tooling and molding, which is why we're relying on Kickstarter to fund us.
Okay. So
So
tell us some more about the Kickstarter. When is it happening, and how can people get involved?
yeah, and so it's happening in about 2 weeks. A couple weeks ago, I went back to Lincoln, Nebraska to shoot some videos with my friends who were gonna help promote this product. So we had a production company, a 6-man crew come out there, and then we had about 6 or 7 riders who were out there. Took a bunch of good photo and video. We're putting together the edit this week, and then we'll be launching that to everyone, I think, on August 6th is, I think, our target date. And so we have to get that video approved by Kickstarter. And we're going to be looking to submit that to them by the end of this week. And then, we're going to be moving pretty fast. And so the Kickstarter will help us set our benchmark for a first order. So we can hit our minimum order quantities. And then also, maybe even blow it out of the water so we can actually, make some better margins.
Amazing. And
Yeah.
at what point will you be able to discuss the Kickstarter deal? Is it at the point of it going live, or how can people know what to expect?
Yeah, so we're trying to get ahead of that right now and educate people on just like what Kickstarter is and in general and how it works. But we haven't disclosed our tiers yet. Essentially, the way that the tiers work is I think we're going to do about 100 at 150, which is like for all of our VIP members. I'll backtrack a little bit. Our VIP program was just a way that we could validate our wait list to figure out how many people, we're actually going to be interested in putting some money down to, purchase a vest. And I think within like the first week, we sold out like of our capacity, our VIP list, which was like, I think at like 100 people. So we're going to sell 100 at 150. Then we'll be scaling things up from there. Our retail price is at $299, but since, we're a new company and this is a pre-order, we're going to discount all of our pre-orders. And I think the most that we'll be taking in this round would be like $250 for one of our vests.
Some Gus. Well, it sounds like this Kickstarter campaign is going to be the culmination of several years hard work and an awful lot of passion. So I'm really excited for you guys, and I wish you the absolute best of luck with it.
Yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, thanks for having us on today. Really appreciate you taking the time to interview us. And to all the listeners out there, hope you guys can follow us, groovewatersports.com, and support us on this journey.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Gus.
Yeah, thank you.